Lesson 2.2, Video 3. Now we have a situation where neither equation is solved for a variable. So we must decide and then solve one equation for a variable. Decision being, which variable will I solve for? And this is an important step because as we solve for a variable, we want to try and do ourselves a favor and not create equations that have fractions. Not that fractions aren't, not that they're terrible, but if we can avoid fractions, we should, because it adds some complexity to the problem that we can more easily make mistakes with. So if we look at the four variables that are present, we have this x, we have this y, this x, and this y. If we look at those four choices, the one that's going to be the least steps to get by itself would be the bottom right hand y, because it's positive y. No number in front of it, no negative. So let's do that. I will add x to both sides, and we get y equals x minus 7. So we're going to use this equation and this equation to help us solve by substitution. Now we solved for y on purpose. Now we know what y is equal to. I'll take that to the other equation and plug it in, which will give us 7x minus, and y is now being replaced with x minus 7 equals 1. Again, this is a negative 1, so we are going to need to distribute that negative 1, and we get 7x minus 1x. If you don't want to write the 1, you don't have to, plus 7 equals 1. Combine like terms, and we have 6x plus 7 equals 1. Subtract 7, and 6x equals negative 6. Divide both sides by 6, and x equals negative 1. Remember, we're looking for a coordinate, and we just found out what x is. We can take that now and substitute into either equation, but I'm going to plug it into the one that's going to be easiest for me to use. In which case we would have y equals negative 1 minus 7. So y is equal to negative 8. And again, if we graphed it, it would intersect at way down here in the third quadrant. Another one. Again, looking at them carefully, which variable would be easiest to solve for? That would be this one. No number in front of it, and it's positive. So I will add 6y to both sides, and we will end up with x equals 6y minus 20. Notice that we always don't have to solve for y. It's whatever variable is easiest to solve for. We know what x is equal to, so we're going to take that. Now remember, it's the x value, not the y, that we solve for, so that gets replaced. Now we have 5 parentheses 6y minus 20 plus 8y equals negative 24. We need to distribute, and we get 30y minus 100 plus 8y equals negative 24. Combine like terms, and we get 38y minus 100 equals negative 24. Add 100, and we get 76. Divide by 38, and we get y equals 2. Now again, remember, we are looking for a coordinate in which we now found the y value, not the x. So if you notice, we're going to take that value and plug it into any of the first equations, but I can even have that be the one that I solved for a variable, which makes it a little bit easier to do the next step. So x is equal to 6 times y, which we found to be 2, minus 20. So x equals 12 minus 20. Therefore, x is equal to a negative 8. Again, that's the x value. So in this particular case, you don't have to draw this out, but I'm just trying to remind you that we are looking for an intersection point. And that would be in the second quadrant. And this ends Lesson 2.2, Video 3.